Welcome to day 11 of our 12 days of gift giveaways. And I know you saw the topic, and I love talking and teaching on this managing your emotions at home. You good on that end? Before we jump in, I want to start our time off today with an introduction.
Hey, Facebook family. I'm Lanita Holston, your favorite student success strategist. And I coach high school students to identify and go after their dream career. Not only do I have a big heart for working with students, but I also have a track record. And I'm just thankful God is using me in this particular and special and needed way. So thanks for joining me tonight on our 12 days of giveaways. You know I got some goodies. Let's jump in.
Awesome. So listen, I want to get straight to it. This is one of the topics that some of my college clients and my school-based clients often ask me to come in and share on. And it's just the power of managing your emotions, what emotions mean, how they show up, how they affect our relationships with our loved ones, those that we lead. So this is kind of like my wheelhouse. So I want to start by defining what emotions are. Emotions are simply a conscious mental reaction. So basically, it's happening in your mind. But what we don't realize is that emotions have the highest level of bioregulation. And bioregulation is just the body's ability to self regulate or to regulate itself. And so our emotions have an enormous weight on how what's happening in the inside of us. Like a lot of the emotions that we have affects our body, which is really powerful. And so I don't know if you know this, but your emotions precede your feelings. So what happens is your emotions are sparked by the brain and sends a message to your body. Your feelings are sparked by the brain and send a message to your mind. So your emotions are displayed inwardly. They have an inward display, like sweaty palms, a pulsating heart, maybe an anxiousness, bubble guts, or butterflies. Those are the emotions. And your feelings have an outward display. That is when you see like sadness or frowning face or tears. And so um, the emotions proceed, meaning that they happen first. You have the emotion, and then the bio response happens as a result of that happening. The brain is sending a message to your mind, and you have an outward display of emotion. And so the topic in which why I'm bringing this up with parents is because sometimes it is our emotions that show up on behalf of us. They show up as our representative. And to some degree, sometimes our emotions have the steering wheel of our lives. So they're like driving the direction, how we make decisions, how we approach conflict, how we approach conversations. They're like leading us unknowingly. And I always say, when we are negligently control the things we can't control, we are negligently being controlled. So when we negligently don't control the things we can't control, we are negligently being controlled. And one of the ways we can be controlled by, or one of the things we can be controlled by, is our emotions. And so, untamed emotions will have you lashing out on those whom are not responsible for what you are experiencing. You're like redirecting the feeling. So sometimes parents can be lashing out on children, or children can be lashing out on parents. It can happen either or. Untamed emotions have you mistreating those whom are closest to you, and not intentionally, but the impact of not being able to manage the emotion is what gets our loved ones to be sometimes a victim of our inability to manage them. Untamed emotions have you underestimating your abilities. Sometimes you're out of sync. We call it off balance, out of whack. And they also trigger us to compare ourselves to others. So those are some of the byproducts of not being able to manage the emotions when we feel them. Now, I'm not a psychologist. However, these are basic, simple practices that I think once we embrace them, we become conduits for change in our families and how they manage their emotions and also handle their children. And so for tonight's gift is an activity on managing your emotions. And so it'll give you an opportunity. I'm dropping it in the chat now. It'll give you an opportunity to take an assessment of maybe what some of your triggers are, and then for you to identify common things that trigger your emotions. And so once you open up the gift, you will see that PDF. You'll have an opportunity to take a look, and maybe you may see something on there that you didn't even realize was a trigger for you. But the goal is that you're very aware of what elicits what I call a fiery response or a fiery emotion within your body. And before I jump off tonight, I want to share a very practical one for me in terms of managing my emotions. Um, so one of the things I realized as I've gotten older is that I really value um, one-on-one time with my loved ones. So let's use my sister for an example. And when I want to spend time with them and they not be available, that triggers an emotion inside of me. Sometimes it's sadness, maybe not as I don't want this to seem dramatic, but this is a very practical example. I'm like, why not? Well, when can we go? And so me knowing that I have to remind myself before it turns into a feeling. Okay, well, giving people their space and their boundaries. That's just a very practical one. I also do not like when others, do not value my time. When someone is exceptionally late and or is asking for they needed more of my time than they actually said that they did, um and they don't ask me can they have that elicits a fiery response inside of me because I'm really good with time management. So when someone gets me out of that, it's totally triggering. So to me that emotion looks like anxiousness, like I am basically almost angry, like I'm frustrated, I should say frustrated. And so sometimes I get this little ache right here. And so it's different for all of us. But the goal of tonight is that you would just become aware of those triggers, and then you would share them with your children. Do the exercise with your children too, because they may have triggers that you may not know of. And so the goal is that you are equally both aware of those things and you can hold each other accountable to managing them. Like I've been saying for the last 12 days or 11 days, that the whole point of this series is to think of practical ways in which we can better develop in home relationships. And so that parents are the first line of defense when a child is ready to dream or share their dreams aloud. And so no one dreams with people that they don't have relationship with. They share those intimate things with those whom they trust and they love. And I want that to be parents. I want them to be the first line of defense for big, bold dreams. And so in the coming weeks, you'll see in February, we'll be doing a conference where we'll be highlighting parents whom have actually done that. And so you can meet their child and the parent. And I'm excited about that. And that's totally top secret. So I didn't mean to drop that gem. But I did want to share that. So you have your gift for tonight. It is in the comments. Managing your emotions is a great activity to do over the holidays. And so I hope that you find it helpful. Don't forget, if any of these tools you found to be of value and you have found them to be helpful, please come back and let me know. If you happen to catch today's replay, you can type in #replay when you do watch, and give me some feedback. And thank you for allowing me to just to kind of share some of the things that I've been working on and in the areas of the space that I work in, so that we can be the tribe together. I'm just a part of your tribe. I'm an extension of the household support that students have. So I'm off to bake cookies as we prepare for the holiday. So tomorrow will be our final day together. And so thank you for joining for day 11. I'm Lanita Holston, your favorite student success strategist. And tomorrow is our finale. I will see you then, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sharp. Bye.